Welcome to our first meeting. I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about a few things. I want to talk to you about what we've been working on this month, and then I also want to share with you about our personal safety curriculum that we talked about at when we did paperwork, just to kind of give you just an overview of what that will look like when we start doing it. This month we have been working on patterns, the color yellow, number 0 and 1. We've been working on circles. We have learned the letter N, and next week we'll start letter W. And so I'm just really proud of these kiddos, all their hard work. I've also noticed that they are getting in a routine, so I love seeing that, and I know it hasn't been easy. This school year has just been not like any other, so it's been hard on them, and I know it's been hard on you, so I definitely just wanted to say thank you for all that you're doing during this time. I know it's hard, and I just appreciate everything that you're doing, and I am proud of them because coming in and then not coming in and still trying to get in a routine is hard, so they are doing so well, and so I'm just happy to see that they're doing well, and they're making friends and getting along with others, and I love to see it, so that makes me happy. Also, I wanted to let you know that, or remind you that if your child is a virtual learner, full-time, or even whenever they're virtual on the days they're not in school, please be sure that you have joined the Head Start page that is led by Miss Kim. She is the teacher at Cloudland Elementary in Head Start, and she is amazing. So you definitely want to do that. That is where the lessons for virtual learning will happen. I will still be posting some on my page. I will still do a good morning song because I like to tell all my friends good morning and wave to them and that kind of thing. So, and I still want them to see me. But you will want to go to her page for the lessons that we're working on and the skills that we're working on in class. So I have a link for that on the Facebook page, on our Facebook page, and I sent it in a remind message. But if you need me to invite you or send the link again, I am more than happy to do that. So just let me know. Also, I meant to tell you, be sure that you, after you watch this, just comment below and let me know that you watched. And if you have any questions, you can ask there too. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Our Talking About Touching curriculum is a personal safety curriculum for preschool and kindergarten age children, and it teaches them just like the basic skills designed to help them, or to help keep them safe from dangerous or abusive situations. So that is our goal, and it is provided by the Department of Education, so that's where we get the curriculum and all the materials that go with it. And so there are 15 lessons that go with the Talking About Touching curriculum, and I'll just kind of give a brief overview of each of them. And there's a fun little puppet that goes with it. But here is the first one, so it just has like a picture. And so lesson 1 is learning car safety. So lesson 1 is all about car safety, and we'll talk about the picture, and we'll talk about, who keeps you safe in the car. It is the job of the grown-ups to, help make sure that they're watching after you. And we'll just talk about, wearing your seatbelt, and why do you need to wear a seatbelt? How does that keep you safe? Or why does Marcus need to ride in the booster seat? So just all kinds of different things to get the kids talking and understanding why we have these rules. We like to put the why behind it. So that's the first one. The first one is car safety. Here's the second one, and it is traffic safety. So we'll talk about, why is it important to be safe whenever you're out on the street. Talk about what they're doing. They're crossing the road. What do they need to do? They need to look both ways, and just why is this important? When can you cross the street? When you don't see any cars, that type of thing, to keep them safe. The third lesson is learning fire safety. So we will talk about that. We'll talk about what are some ways we use fire, when do we use fire, and talk about how, we do use it to cook or use food or to keep us warm, but it can also be dangerous, so they need to be aware of that. Talk about matches. Do we play with matches? Should we play with matches? So we will talk about fire safety.
Caleb and Maggie Stout. Caleb and Maggie Stout.
Sorry, there's an announcement. Lesson 4 is learning gun safety, so never playing with guns. So we do talk about that, and it tells like a little story about how sometimes children find guns that belong to their parents or someone else, and they may want to play with them, and we talk about how guns are not toys, and they're very dangerous. So we really want them to understand that, and we want them to know that they can hurt people. So this kind of story just kind of, we tell them that when they're playing hide and seek, one of them finds a gun, and then his parents tell them to never play with a gun. So, and they talk about how that's not safe. So, and then we talk about, if he still wants to play with a gun, what should she do? She should tell her parent or a grown-up, right? Her mom or dad. Okay, this next one is number 5, and it is getting found. We talk about what you should do if you're ever in a store and you can't find your parents. We want to it says, I want everyone to show me how your face would look if you were lost. Now show me how your face would look once you were found. Okay? So we talks about how this little girl is lost in a big store and she doesn't know where he is, and they're scared and don't know what to do. So we talk about what can she do. After she waits, she asks for help. Who should she ask for help? The store clerk, right? If another shopper says she will ask about her parent and how to find her, if another shopper and not the person that works at the store, then we need to tell them that they need to ask to get the store clerk, right? It talks about, should she ever leave the store? She should stay in the store. Okay. Oh, and it says, what information should she tell the store clerk? Her first and last name. So just different things that go along with that. All right, number 6 is the always ask first rule, getting permission before going with somebody. So this one talks about a safety rule where if someone wants you to go somewhere with him or her, you always ask first. Always ask your parents or whoever is in charge of you at that time, right? So whether that's a grandmother or a babysitter, whoever's in charge of you at that time is who you need to ask first. Okay, so it just talks about that. And then this one's continued. It says the always ask first rule, getting permission before accepting gifts. So we talk about that. We talk about if it's your friend's sister wants to give you a toy to keep, you would say, I have to ask my mom or dad first, right? So we talk about that. If, someone tries to give you cookies or something, you should say, well, I have to ask my mom or dad first, or the person in charge of me, my grandma, my babysitter, whoever that is, first. Okay? So we do talk about that. Then lesson 8 starts our getting and giving safe touches. So we talk about what's a safe touch, what's an unsafe touch. Safe touches are good for your body. They make you feel cared for, loved, and important. So we see a little girl christen her dad, and so we talk about, does this look like it's a safe touch? Do they look happy? And yes, they do. So we talk about how hugs are a safe touch. Okay. Number 8 is getting and giving safe touches. So again, we talk about safe touches. Do they look happy, first of all? Yes, they look like they are kind of cuddling on his lap as he reads to her, right? that would be a safe touch. And then number 9 is dealing with unsafe touches. So I see this little girl pulling his shirt, and he doesn't like that. So we talk about how that's not a safe touch. He doesn't like that. He's not happy, and he could get hurt, right? So it's not okay for her to grab him like that. It's not okay to fight. It's not okay to do anything like that. So we talk about those kinds of unsafe touches, right? We talk about what we could do instead of fighting. There's that one. Lesson 10 is saying no to unwanted touches. Right, so right here it just shows a picture. You can kind of see that they're not happy. So it says, does Marissa want to be touched right now? And we can see by her face that no, she does not. In her body, she's backing away. She doesn't want to be touched. What could Marissa say to Kimberly? Well, she could say, please don't put your arm around me. I don't want to be touched right now. So even if she's not really meaning to hurt her, we talk about how that friend might not want to be touched right now, and we need to listen whenever they say no. So, is it okay for that little girl to keep touching her? No, she asked them not to. So we talk about that. Lesson 11 is learning the touching rule. So there's that. This one, we talk about how a bigger person should never touch your private body parts, except to keep you clean and healthy. So like a doctor, no one should ever, a bigger person should not touch your private parts. Who can give me an example of a bigger person? A grown-up, a teenager, an old person, babysitter. They should never. We don't use real words during this lesson. We say any part covered by a bathing suit or swimsuit. So they won't learn those real words, but I think that they will learn that, no one should be touching you there. Okay. So it talks about a boy's bathing suit. Let's see. Yes. So like it says, does your socks cover your private parts? No. Is your back a private part? No. So like those parts are okay. Are the parts of your body that are covered by your bathing suit a private part? Yes. So the touching rule says that a bigger person should not touch your private parts except to keep you clean and healthy. So we do talk about that. Here's lesson 11, learning the touching rule continued. It says, now let's talk about what it means to keep you clean and healthy. So it says, what do you do to keep your body clean? You wash your hands, wash your hair, take a bath, brush your teeth. And it says sometimes kids need help help keeping clean, and babies always need help getting clean. When babies get their diaper changed, someone has to wipe their bottoms, which they probably all understand that. There is a time when a bigger person needs to touch a baby's private body parts. This is a type of safe touch. How many of you have a baby brother or sister? So I'm sure, a lot of them have experience with that. Sometimes you need help getting clean too, which we explain. Your parents might help wash your back or your hair or wipe your bottom. That would help keep you clean, which is part of the touching rule, and healthy, and it's apparent. That would be a safe touch. There is another time when a grown-up may need to touch different parts of your body. The doctor will check Antonio's body parts. He might listen to his heart, take his temperature, and check his private body parts. That would be a safe touch because it's keeping Antonio healthy, right? And Antonio's mom is right there too. So doctors check different parts to make sure you're healthy, so we just make sure that they know that, so to keep us clean and healthy, right? Lesson 12 is learning the safety steps. So this one is about say the words that mean no. So, for example, this boy right here, use the touching rule and the safety steps. He was with his Uncle Dan. They were sitting together on the couch watching TV, and Uncle Dan began touching Carl's private parts through his clothes. Carl jumped off the couch and said, "What are you doing? I don't like that." So we teach them words that say, mean no. No, stop, I don't like that. So, and tell a grown-up and they need to get away and tell a grown-up. Okay? So, was this a safe touch? No, because he wasn't keeping him clean or healthy. So, we talk about that. Lesson 13, using the touching rule. This one shows a little picture of Grandma and a little girl, and she is talking to her grandma. She has a touching problem. She was sitting on her neighbor's lap. The neighbor tried to touch her private body parts, and she said, "Don't do that." So she used her touching rule, and words that mean no. She said, "Don't do that." And she got off her lap and went home, and now she's telling her grandma about it. So she told the person in charge of her, which is exactly what she should do. And so, you know, Grandma is of course really happy, and we let them know that it is always okay to tell a grown-up. Tell your grown-up what happened, and they'll be so happy that you did. Okay, this one is blank because it has a little video, but it says Joey learns the touching rule. So this one is just a video about Joey who is learning about safe touch and unsafe touch. So that's what that one is. And then this one's blank too, because it is, it's Sam's story. It's like a little book in here. And this one is a story about Sam and how she learned to use the touching rule. So it just kind of reinforces those things that that we have all talked about. So that is it on our personal safety curriculum. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to call me, message me, however you want to ask. So I'm happy to answer anything that I can. If you have a question about anything other than this too, always feel free to ask. Also, I just want to say that I'm loving this school. The school year's crazy, don't get me wrong, but I'm loving it. These kids are wonderful, and I'm just so happy to be their teacher. So I hope that you all enjoyed our little meeting, and we will have another one in October. And if you all have any questions, let me know, and be sure to comment that you have watched the video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.